Good morning, everyone. A very warm welcome to the 12 days capacity building program organized by Internal Quality Assurance Cell of Nagindas Khanwala College and sponsored by ICSSR. Today's topic is publishing research papers in scholarly journals. For this session, today we have the resource person, Dr. Sarika Sawant. She is Assistant Professor of SHPT School of Library Science, SNDT Women's University, since September 2004. She has completed her BLIC from Shivaji University in 2001, MLIC from SNDT Women's University in 2002, and obtained her PhD in 2010. She has a degree of MSc in Biochemistry from Shivaji University in 2000 also. She is a PhD supervisor guiding at present 5 students and 1 is awarded with PhD degree. She has 40 international and national publications in her credit. She has completed 3 research projects. She has received 249 citations for her publication.
Sonali, you are on mute. Sonali, mute पे हो.
A very warm welcome to all of you for the capacity building program organized by Internal Quality Assurance Cell of Nagindas Khanwala College and sponsored by ICSSR. Today's topic for the session is publishing research papers in scholarly journals. The resource person for the session is Dr. Sarika Sawant. She is Assistant Professor of SHPT School of Library Science, SNDT Women's University since September 2004. She completed her BLIC from Shivaji University, MLIC from SNDT Women's University, and PhD in 2010 from SNDT Women's University. She has a degree of MSc in Biochemistry from Shivaji University in 2000. She is a PhD supervisor guiding at present 5 students and 1 is awarded with PhD degree. She has 40 international and national publications in her credit. She has completed 3 research projects. She has received 249 citations for her publications, 1 collaborative book project for BRICS countries, edited 3 conference proceedings, 41 papers published in edited books and seminars, conferences, and deposited 40 preprint of conference journals, papers in eLIS repository. She has archived 45 presentations in SlideShare, which has more than 160,000 views as on date. She is a recipient of various awards and honors from prestigious institutions. Such as attendance grant award on behalf of Asia Pacific to participate in International Federation Library Association Conference, that is IFLA, Topmost Library Science Conference, which was held at Columbus, Ohio, USA during August 2016. Even she had participated and presented research paper and poster in IFLA in 2018, Malaysia. She also received UGC unassigned grant to travel Australia for the conference. Dr. Sarika Sawant had successfully done 17 certificate courses from Coursera and 1 on understanding open educational resources OER from Commonwealth of Learning. She represents on various committees of the university, as well as served 20 times in her capacity as organizing secretary, organizing committee member, etc. of various conferences and seminars. She is associated with 10 universities of India in connection with lectures, training and assessment, PhD referee, etc. She is on the editorial board of SAGE Open International Peer Review Journal and UGC Peer Reviewer of the Journal Academic Librarianship. She has delivered more than 72 expert talks on various topics such as research, copyright issues, publication misconduct, open access resources, ICT tools, and so on. Once again, I would like to welcome Dr. Sarika Sawant to guide us for the publishing research papers in scholarly journals. Welcome you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Sonali, for such an elaborate introduction. I will not waste time at all and will start straightforward with my lecture. First of all, I would like to say thanks to Nagindas Khandwala College, Principal Madam, Librarian Madam, for giving me the opportunity to talk about journal publishing, which is really interesting topic. It's a very hot topic, you can say, right now, nowadays, for the academic teachers as well as professionals. Okay, so thank you so much. I will be sharing my screen with all of you. Is my screen visible to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Is the slide visible?
Yes, ma'am, it is visible.
Thank you. Okay, so today's my agenda for the talk is about journal publications. Okay, so there are so many things that are involved that we really don't know. We really don't know when we start writing our articles before we write articles for the journals. Okay, so these I have tried my level best to enter all the points which are required for an amateur writer to publish articles in the journals. Okay, and before I read and before I explain, just on the left side there is something called journal writing gives us insights into who we are, who we were, and who we can become. And this is absolutely true in case of me. This is written by Sandra, that what caliber we have, that we can prove by writing in a good journals, or you can say esteemed journals in your own field. Okay, so my start of the program is with this particular statement given by the Sandra, and I believe that each and everyone, I think there are 74 participants attending this session, will follow the rules and the guidelines which will be shared by me, and will come out with some nice article, and you will publish definitely in one of the journals in your own field. Okay, so what exactly I'm going to discuss about what motives are behind publications, what are the qualities of a good manuscript that you should have before you hit a journal. Okay, then what is the process of publishing an article? Choosing the right journal. Yes, this is a very, very crucial step in this publishing journey. Then, of course, rejections are there, and then you should not get demotivated, right? Because there are reasons of rejections, but there are also reasons or acceptance also. Okay, so I know that there will be rejections, reasons are more, but acceptance definitely we should aim for the acceptance of our journal article. Okay, then I will be sharing some tips with you how to write an article and publish in the journal, since my 12 years of journey of writing in the academic journals has given me some insights, and that I can share with you. And then I will try talk about little bit about impact factor and journal finding tools. Okay, not much because we don't have that much of time. We have right now for 50 minutes to talk about. Okay, let me just give you a brief overview of my paper. This is a paper that published just 1 year back in one of the esteemed International Journal of Library Science. Again, it is published by Nescare, Delhi. This paper, you can read here the history of this paper, that the paper was received in October 20. Okay, it was revised in July 21 and it got accepted in August, and which got published in September. So see the journey, how much time it takes. So this is the mehnat of your 1 year. okay, and that you should not get vested only because you are unable to find a time to reply to the reviewer, you are not agreeing with the reviewer's recommendations, and third is your willingness. Okay, so all these three factors you should keep away, and you should aim that this particular word got accepted, that should reflect in your paper, and it should get published in any of the journal which is of your concern. Okay, so this is a paper which got published, and I can show you the history of this particular article. This article was published in September 2001. It the full text download. This is open access journals in library information science, authentic open access journals. I am not saying about blacklisted or a predatory journal, which has got a 1,341 downloads. Abstract view is I think more or less similar, 1,362, and it has received only one citation. I really don't feel bad to say that it is one, because I'm very sure within 1 year it will have definitely more than 10 citations, because this particular topic there are a lot of research going on, and this paper was published last year. So maybe in this one particular year this paper must have referred by many people, and maybe on those papers on the verge of getting published. Okay, so I'm very promising, very sure that I will receive the citations for this my paper. This is a paper which got published in 2014, the same journal which has got more than 10,000 downloads, full text downloads. Abstract is more or less 2,000, and it has got received 34 citation. It is a top 2 number article in my profile. Okay. So see, this is the journey of 2014 and 2021 I shared with you. I just wanted to tell you that this is not something very difficult, and this is not something very simple also. Okay, there is a that is the hard work that you have to do to achieve these downloads and citations. Okay, and I will share with you whatever things that I did for my publications. Okay, so first, that what is the motive behind publication. See, when I completed my PhD in 2010, when I gave my viva, I felt really emptiness, that what I'm supposed to do. 5 years I was doing my PhD, and now what? I don't want to sit back, relax, and just do time pass. Okay, apart from my hobbies, definitely this is also my hobby, to write something and try to experiment with the different journals. Okay, so I started writing articles, and then I found that it's not that like a PhD writing, but something different. Okay, so motive is a self motivation first, that everyone should have that self motivation. You should not write for your promotion, you should not write for your PhD mandatory call, you should not write for just getting recognition, and you should not write only for just someone is telling you to write. Okay, so you should have a strong self motivation to write articles in the journals, and have some kind of recognition of your own name in your own field. Okay, and this way, when we write articles, when we publish our articles, what we are doing, we are sharing our research results and applications. For your kind information, see, I never kept my MLIC students dissertation idle as it is. Okay, it is not lying in the cupboards of our department or in the library. I attempted, means I provocated, I can say, or boosted my students to write a papers and publish in the journals. Okay, because the students have done a lot of hard work to write or do that particular dissertation and come out with some concrete results, and those should not be idly lying in the cupboards of the library, right? It should get shared with each and everyone, whatever small research that you have done. Okay, so that is why you can share the results, and then there will be less duplication of the research. Okay, so suppose someone has done a PhD on this particular topic, like say for example information seeking layer of transgenders. This is one of my student had done. So if I share such a type of research article based on this particular dissertation in the journal, what will happen? It will add a value in the to the researchers who are doing PhD in the PhD or a research in case of transgenders. Okay, so it's very important that we should share our research results. Okay, and definitely that will follow the recognition. Okay, see, in 2010 the scenario was totally different. 2012 entire scenario has been changed. Okay, and this COVID in 2 years, the definitely the scenario has changed. People were initially in a shock, and they were just sitting and they were doing household work and all, something like that. They were mentally under trauma. They had a medical emergencies, but since there were few researchers like me, and there are many more in the world who were trying to do some research, write articles and publish in the journals. Okay, so I fully use those 2 years for different kind of activities which are required in my academic field as well as in my personal life also. Okay, so recognition definitely will not get in just one day. It is a hard work that you have to do to, as I showed you the article, right, accepted, you just feel so happy to see the word and receive that mail of your article is finally getting accepted. That cannot describe with anything else. Like even though you get a diamond ring or diamond necklace, still that email will be more precious than that diamond ring. I always feel like that, because that is my perspective. Okay, and for you as a PhD students, right, most of the lectures I gave, these are basically the PhD research methodology workshop, where the students come and ask me that, madam, it is mandatory for us to publish article in the journal, so that is why we are doing. Okay, so that should not be the motive of writing your article in the journals, so that is a stepping stone for writing a nice PhD, or that will make you a good researcher, good writer, and that will give you confidence, and this confidence will be multitude, okay, in every sphere of your life. Okay, so that confidence building is really, really important in the academician's life. Okay, so keep those things in mind. So you should keep promotion or getting hierarchy level promotions. That should be your least bother, right? That is what I feel. Okay, and that these are the motives that you should keep in mind, and then you should start writing and publishing your articles. Okay, again, I would like to tell you that who are the people who are involved in this publishing industry or publication cycle or a scholarly communication, most precisely. Okay, see, we are all humans, we are all academicians who are involved in this scholarly communication. Okay, so please keep it in mind that me as an author, I am academician, or I can say I'm a teacher, I'm writing an article. Okay, I'm writing article for the journal. And who are those? Journal is not something it's a mechanical thing, right? It's people are involved in that particular journal publishing industry. So these editors, the reviewers, those review your article, they are all human beings. Okay, so these all people like author, editors and reviewer, they contribute to the scientific publishing. Okay, so our success of tomorrow is based on today's contribution to the scientific publishing. Okay, why I'm telling you this, why I'm taking this particular point, that take a moment and think why. Because this is what I have observed, that even I realized in the initial phases of writing articles in the journal, that we give galis to the editors and the reviewers, right? We always blame them, why I have written such a beautiful best piece of article, and why this person has a problem with my article, why this person has told me to do this and that, and why my article got rejected, why this particular person has told me to refer to this particular article before I finalize this particular article, or this part, some literature, unknown literature is to me is being introduced by the reviewer, and reviewer is asking me to add those things and those angles and something like that, all those suggestions and the recommendations. please don't think that they are the culprits. Okay, so they are the one who are eating your head. No, it's not like that. Okay, they are the one who are the mentors. You call them as a mentors, you know, because they give you a very good guideline for writing your article, and no one is going to teach you that in the entire world. Even your PhD guide will not teach you. No one will able to tell you about authentic review or reply to your particular paper. Okay, because they are anonymous. Mostly they are anonymous. You means you don't know who is the reviewer, and reviewer don't know who is the author. So that particular review of your article and the comments and the recommendations, suggestions are really important. You have to take it with a good spirit, saying that it will improve your own understanding, thinking, thought process, as well as your writing practice also. Okay, for example, I will tell you, in case of one of my article, the reviewer had told, I don't know, but I always owe to that reviewer who gave me a different angles of writing a particular article. Like that person told me that you have cited only the Indian articles, but you have not, you have excluded the European views on this particular aspects. So he particularly mentioned me 4 or 5 articles in his reply, saying that you please have a look at these 4 or 5 articles and you include these points, crux of all those 4.45 articles into your article. So that will give you some different dimension, and then you try to try to take that discussion further. Okay, in a section called discussion. So that was something very different. Means this is just one example I gave you, but there are so many things he had recommended me to do, you know, and that really helps you to improve on your own, right? I'm telling you, nobody is going to tell you to do these things. Only these people are going to tell you without bias that okay, you have to do like this and all. Okay, so take it very positively, don't take it negatively. Don't say that why is unnecessarily bothering me and all. Okay, so don't do that. Okay, just listen from that person's perspective, and then you again write. Okay, because when you write a paper, it's like monodirectional. Okay, so when reviewer give any inputs, it's a unidirectional or both from different sides. Okay, so something like that you have to do, and you have to go on with this. Then you have to think about that whether your paper is what you're writing, it is worth publishing or not. Okay, so because I told you that to write a paper you need at least 2-3 months. If you're writing only general review paper, research, so definitely you're going to take a longer time. But when you write a paper and the moment it will get published, it is going to take 1 year, right? So your all hard work and all your patience and waiting, whether this particular article is worth doing all these things, whether it will be fruitful or a waste, that you have to think about it. Okay, the paper which you are writing or you wish to write, it should have some contribution. Okay, or in your academic field. Okay, means it should add something, you know, add value to your particular professional literature. Otherwise it's no use if you're doing something like as I said, I reviewed one app, like the app that is used by PhD scholars. Okay, so this is one, and suppose I wrote an article about online dictionaries. Okay, there are plenty of online dictionaries. I evaluated, I wrote pros and cons and something like that, and I wrote an article. So what do you think, which will be more beneficial? More means depending on the audience. Okay, so more audience will be more for this online dictionaries, but less audience will be for less audience will be means less readers will be there to read my article, which is about PhD app. Okay, so that is what I mean to say, that you have to think that what are the professional applications and how it is going to make it. Okay, like I can give you a good example is a COVID. right? In COVID, lot of research was going on. Lot of research means tremendous research was going on. There was tremendous lakhs of articles has been poured in preprints repositories, and thousands of articles has been published in the journals, various journals. So it had that contemporary importance. So it had some professional immediate application. So it was used and it was read by worldwide scientists. Okay, you should try to write something to fetch the citations, right? So again, I know when I write an article that this particular article is going to get citations or not, okay? Because I know what article I'm writing, to whom it is writing, and who are the people who will be mostly reading my article, and usage level of the article. So accordingly, I can calculate the fits citations of that particular. Means I can predict what citation and how many citations I will receive for this particular paper. So you should also have that kind of insights, whether the piece of article, piece of paper that you have written is going to be important in your field or not. Okay, contribute to the worth of your professional literature. And it should have the originality and relevance. Again and again, I'm telling you. Why it is said originality? Because journals will only accept if the article is original. Okay. See, these all journals are very, very smart. Okay, they have that cross-ref. Means all major publishers have joined together and they have contributed their own data, that millions of pages, to the cross-ref. And when you submit any article, your article is checked again against that plagiarism, and means your article is searched in the cross-ref, and then whether it is original or not, it is immediately within second they will come to know. Okay, so it has to be original. The same type of work should means you should not publish the same article anywhere. Okay, so that is the first thing. And it should be original research, that the research that must have not been done. Okay, so if it is like that, then journal editors are less likely to accept your article. Then how you can write a good article or a good manuscript? See, when you write an article, it is called as manuscript. Okay, so when you submit it to any journal, it is called as preprint. When reviewers do the review of your article, then what happens? The article get polished. Okay, and then if it is accepted and it is published, then it is called as published version, or a published or a printed or a published article. It is called as print of the particular article. So preprint, print, and there is something called as postprint. Means if you make any changes with the data, suppose you take the updated data and you change the article, which is again published one, it is called as postprint. So a particular article goes through different journey like preprint, print, and postprint. Okay, so when you write an article, it is called as manuscript, means preprint only. And then first see the what is current research is going on, decide the topic, what topic you want to take, whom it is useful. Again, audience, I'm telling you, who is the audience? Like I told you that there are two, just now I mentioned two topics. For one topic, there were the librarians who will be using that article, means it will help librarians to understand and find out different online journals. Second article was only restricted to only PhD scholars. Okay, PhD scholars in library science, maybe in the oral. So I feel that librarians community is much larger than the PhD community. So I can predict, or I can say that who is going to use and read my article, and then how I'm going to get the citations for this particular article. Then you have to choose the right journal. You have to follow the author guidelines. Content and the presentation has to be good. Okay, this is something very, very crucial, that is content and presentation. And second is, the first one is follow the author guidelines. Okay, see, I read so many interviews of the editors, and even I am on the editorial board. I know one important fact about rejections of the article is that people do not follow the author guidelines that are given by the journals. Okay, say for example, if the journal is saying that our area of research is, or we focus on these areas and we try to publish articles on this particular areas, like say for example ICT applications in the libraries. Okay, and if I'm writing theoretical article and submitting to the journal, straight away on the same day, within 1 hour you will receive, not 1 hour but within the same day you will receive the letter for rejection. Okay, that your article is rejected. Why it is rejected? Because it is out of scope. Okay, so people do not read only guidelines. So I'm telling you that you at least spend 1.5 years for publishing one article. Okay, so you should spend your entire 2 days in reading that journal's guidelines, journal articles, how people earlier have written articles, how what is the different body parts of that particular article, how the arguments have been written in the article, how contrasted the articles with the various established literature. Everything you have to study. Like I say that it's like a like CID, okay? Means that kind of inquiry in your mind has to be there, okay? Then and then you will be very successful, I feel that. Then the content and the presentation, as I said, that you have to read the sample articles which are provided by the journal guidelines. Okay, sometimes if that journal is not open access, it is suppose restricted, then sometimes they give a sample article or sample issue to read, so you can read that and you can understand, yes, this is the style of that particular journal. Okay, see, again, every journal has a different style of writing the article. So you have to capture that. You have to understand how this particular journal has articles. Okay, what, even going through the content page, you will understand what type of articles are generally accepted by this particular journal, and research methodology, which type of research methodology adopted by these journals, that you will understand. Okay, so that will help you to know more about, you can predict, failures or the acceptance for your article. Then you can prepare a first draft. My first draft is always first, second draft, third draft, fourth draft, and then revise, rewrite, and rewrite. Okay, so this is something you will not satisfied until and unless you hear something from the reviewer. Okay, because if you have that kind of passion to write them, otherwise some people are very happy with the piece of paper they write. They will say, oh, the best paper I have written. Okay, so that should not happen. You should try to add all the points that are there in the that is suggested by the journal guidelines into your paper. Okay, so rewrite, that is a something mantra I can say, which is really important. This is something Edit Age has given, provided on the web page, that manuscript submission checklist. So here you can say what is a manuscript format, language, and a flow. See, the language is very important. Again, I'm telling you that even though you are not a good writer, English writer, right? If you are not a good in English, still no problem. You can write in a simple English language your article. But what points you are describing, that should convince reader, okay, or an editor. So this is the way you have to write it. Okay, the flow also, again, you must know how to write. Okay, how to write an introduction, how to write a review of literature, and even you how to write a discussion, like how the points are related to each other. This one particular point is related to this point, and then you should clap together or something like that. So that style you will understand only if you read articles and you write and improve your own article then and then. Okay, then you can check about facts and details, that what are percentages you have written that are correct or not, 2-3 times. Again, this has happened with me also, that 1-2 places the human error, right? The percentages are gone haywire. Okay, so again you have to check that. So from that onwards, then I realized that yes, when I have to submit, I have to check not only what I'm writing, but also the tables, what percentages are given, calculations and all, everything has to be properly mentioned. Okay, it has to be done properly. Means it is our responsibility, because again the all journals have ethical guidelines, and they have so many things under ethical guidelines saying that it is your moral responsibility to write and give the correct data. Okay, so you should try to do that. Then you should always attribute and acknowledge. Acknowledge means what? If you're referring many articles, you must cite it in your uh, article. As well as if someone has helped you in doing some kind of thing, then you should acknowledge that also. Like for example, in one or two places I had taken the help of language editor. So I had mentioned about language editor's name in the acknowledgement. Even suppose it is a sponsored research, you can mention about that sponsor research ka naam and award and all. Okay, you can mention about the people who had helped in reviewing your articles at a personal level. Okay, you can also mention a name of the people who are instrumental in collecting the data. Okay, so there is no harm in acknowledging that acknowledgement section of your article. Okay, again, conflict of interest is a very important in concept. That say for example, you have been funded by some particular pharmaceutical industry to do this particular research, so you have to declare that. Okay, so this funded by this particular agency so and so, so that to avoid a conflict. Okay, manuscript structure has to be good. Graphical presentation. See, nowadays there are so many online apps are available. Even the PowerPoint has gone so ahead of the like even Excel also having such a advanced versions to create the graphs, very appealing graphs and the things. Again, I'm telling you here that if you are using a color combinations, you have to be very academic oriented, soothing. There is again there are theories of color theories also. You know, you have to follow those guidelines also when you have the colorful graphs and the charts in your paper. Okay. Then author information, your information has to be given correctly, your affiliation, your phone number, not phone number, but email IDs, official email IDs should be given. You can write a cover later for a article also. Okay. Then compliance. Okay, so these are the points that you have to mention. Then about structure of the article, this is the general structure for the social sciences, that it will have an abstract. Again, abstract will be have something like 200 words, 300 words. Sometimes there is a structured abstract is provided. Okay, then introduction and a statement. There will be the introduction for your article, that you have to give it nicely, and at the end of the introduction you have to link your article with the statement of your statement means aim of your study. Okay, means you have to link your introduction, methodology, literature review, not methodology, but introduction and literature review, with what objectives of your particular study, and it should match with the introduction and the means there should be flow, means you should connect. That is what I'm telling you. You have to connect. Okay, then main body of paper, find argument, findings, results. Then there will be something called conclusion, discussion, and references. See, discussion is something very, very peculiar. Okay, and again I have learned after writing in the articles, because reviewers gives you feedback on that conclusion and a discussion. Predominantly, I remember that in my first article, the reviewer had told me that in your conclusion you have written nothing but the what that word he has used, nothing but the crux of your findings, only the same thing, but in a miniature format you had given in a conclusion. Something like that, that person had told me, and that person explained me that what is expected in the conclusion and the discussion, how you should differentiate between the conclusion and a discussion, you know. So I always remember such a mentors who actually teach us, these reviewers actually teach us how to write the papers. Okay, only by reading the articles we'll not understand, because every paper is different, every paper is different. Okay, so you have to write about overall about your judgment or a statement or the study in the conclusion. Okay, and then discussion, you can compare, contrast, future studies can be done, and how it has to be done means you have to connect with the earlier studies, and you have to give some solutions also. Okay, it is not only you have done study, that's it, but you have to provide some solution, something that has to come in the discussion. And then of course references has to be there. Okay, so what is the process? Actually, it's a journal website submission. Now almost all journals are available online. You have to go, you have to create your own login ID. Okay, then password, and then you have to fill up your all data. Your name has to be written correctly. Okay, again, there is a lot of things are linked with your name, the way you are writing your name. Okay, there has to be uniformity in writing your names everywhere. Suppose you are signing up with 4 different journals, you should write your name correctly. Like if I'm writing my name as a SS Sawant, I have to use SS Sawant. Okay, Sarika Sawant means Sarika Sawant. Okay, everywhere you have to have that uniformity, because that has something with your retrieval of your articles. Okay, then submit as per the requirements, how they have mentioned the sample article must have given, accordingly you have to give. Okay, you have to wait for the reviewers, you have to respond to the review. You should not be impatient, like within 15 days you will never get the reply within 15 days. It definitely 3 weeks, definitely. Okay, you will get some reply from the reviewers. If your article is getting accepted or rejected, you will if it is getting rejected, within 1 day you will get a email from the editor, because editor takes the decision on his own or on her own. Okay, but if he sends to the reviewer, definitely 3 weeks to 4 weeks. As I told you, we are the only teachers who are authors who will be participated in this particular scholarly communication. So we are the working teachers working somewhere, and then apart from having our busy schedules, we work for this particular journal. Okay, so you have to have some patience, and then you have to again back and forth. Okay, reviewer and author, reviewer and author. And if you're lucky enough, then your article will go to the final submission stage. Okay, types of scholarly article. These are the different types of articles that are generally published in the journals. That is original research, that is research oriented, then review articles, general articles. Okay, then theoretical articles like maybe Ranganathan's theory of Cannon's theory or something like that, or TDC classification, how he did and all. It's like historical aspects, or even linking with the future aspects. Something theoretical, not a research oriented, or maybe like application or action research, something like that. Then there will be the editorials written by the editors, brief communication, there will be book reviews, opinions, letters to the editors. These are the different types. We basically focus on these two, research articles and review articles. Brief communication also you can give, no doubt. There are different types of review articles goes through. Okay, mostly our articles I have observed in social sciences, they are mostly double blind review. Okay, what is single blind review? That author don't know who is a reviewer, but reviewer know who is the author. Means our name is not removed when the article is submitted to the particular reviewer. So reviewer know who is the author. So it has a pros, it has a cons also. It has it is not generally recommended to have a single blind. Double blind means author don't know who is the reviewer, reviewer don't know who is the author. Okay. Then in case of open PR, open PR means audience know who is the author, definitely, and also audience knows the reviewers. Okay, so their names are mentioned so that people come to know who has reviewed these articles. Then there is something called transparent PR, something very, very delicate. Very few people adopt this model, few journals adopt this model, that is transparent PR. In transparent PR, what happens? Whatever reviewer has given author to do, okay, review has given and author has recommended or replied to the reviewer, all the letters are also published along with the article at the bottom. Okay, so that is something called transparent peer review. So the readers come to know about article as well as the review, how review has been done of that particular article. Again, this is something very rare. Even collaborative articles, collaborative peer review means that a reviewer team up with the author and then the review takes place. Okay, so it is something like they know each other, but still these means peer review is allotted to that particular author, and the right from the beginning only the review takes place. Okay, and post publication something which is nowadays we are able to find it, that peer review is done, and then after the paper get published, at the end of the article the comments are invited. Okay, like people give comments about the article and they review and all. Means public also can review and can add their comments. So something like that post publication happens. So the few points that you have to remember is that you cannot submit your article to more than one journal at a time. Okay. See, when you submit any article, you just keep do on tick, 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 tick. What are those ticks? You agree, right? You agree for what? You agree that this particular article is not been submitted anywhere or not been considered peer review, not even undergoing peer review. So you have to tick mark on that. No, for that. Like it has not been submitted and it has not been considered by any other journal at present. So you are legally not supposed to send one article to two journals at a time. Okay, so one journal says it is rejected, then you are allowed to submit it to the other journal, in spite of how many months they take. Okay, so don't worry. If it is going to get rejected, it will get rejected immediately, and it will get rejected if you're not responding to the reviewer's comment. If that person has given you some comments, and if you're not doing it properly or well, then you should it may get rejected. Okay, because reviewer has that authority. And again, I will tell you that in this particular review, responding to review, suppose you feel that whatever the comments are given by reviewer is not correct, is not applicable to you, you have to write it in a very positive way, in a polite way to the reviewers and give the justification, saying that I cannot analyze the data from this particular angle because I'm not collected. Okay, because the reviewer may not know your questionnaire, what data you have collected, but you know, you have to tell it properly in a proper words. You have to choose very good words for that. Okay, so you have to do that thing. Second thing is that you should not go to the top tier journals because they will definitely straight for a reject you because they are highly competitive. Okay, very top researchers in the world, they write articles, so their language, their content is so not difficult, I can say, the highly technical, so that it may not be feasible for us to submit our article in such a journals. Okay, you should go for refereed because again I said reviewer gives very good points, guidelines. Actually he's a mentor for us. Acknowledgement, as I said, you have to acknowledge. Okay, see, there are reasons for the rejection. Ek to definitely our manuscript is not as per their standard, so it's straight for a rejected. If they're saying that you have to write discussion and a conclusion separately, And if you are not written discussion and conclusion separately, they will reject it. Okay, and the scope, out of scope. Even the formatting also not correctly. Even the citation styles are not given properly. Again, rejected. Okay, suppose the journal is saying APA and you're not following APA, it will get rejected. Even duplication of significant overlap with existing work. See, it is called as plagiarism. Okay, you are not citing the articles which you have referred in your article. So it will get rejected. Not good presentation. Okay, the language is not good, flow is not proper. Okay, the charts are not given properly. Even the charts ka sequence, graph ka sequence, table ka sequence, that is also matters. Okay, where you have to highlight the table ka name also. Even one reviewer had told me that you should write for these tables the different titles, not these titles that you have given. So they are so peculiar about the titles that we give for the tables also. So the presentation, that really matters. And insignificant results or incremental research means the research article which you have written may not be very that whatever the results you have given may not be that great, so it may not get accepted. Then superficial treatment to the subject matter means introduction is not written very well, or not in depth, or not from the angle the way you have done the study. Okay, so this can be the reason. Poorly designed study, like you don't have you have not followed sampling, proper sampling, or even the statistics you have not done properly. Lack of clarity in writing, again the ambiguous writing. So it should not happen. These are the major reasons for the rejections. So what are my tips for choosing the right journal is open access publishing option. Okay, this is something which I always feel. Means if you write articles in the authentic open access journals, your article will get viewed or read by entire worldwide audience. Okay, and if it is a good authentic open access, I'm not talking about predatory blacklisted journals. Okay, because they are the one who are money making, who are in the money making business. Okay, so you should avoid such type of journals. Okay, then you should think about the target audience. You should have some time frame in your mind. Then you should choose articles which you feel that they have a similar kind of studies been reported. Okay, there is some relevance or scope matches perfectly with this particular journal, and it will likely to get not even rejected in one day. Okay, so you can ask your peers also, you can ask your colleagues to review about your article also, so that they can give you some points that yes, you have to add this and that and something like that. Author guidelines and peer review system, you should read, or you should get some journal which has good author guidelines. Okay, and they have a good established peer review system also. And the frequency of the journal and the indexing and impact factor. Frequency in the journal, as I said, if it is a yearly publication or a biannually, then only 2 volumes are published or 1 volume is published. Then there are less chances of getting accepted. Okay, suppose it is a quarterly or monthly. So monthly there are 5 articles are getting published. So in a year, 60 articles are published. So there is a chance that among the thousands of the papers, your article will get accepted. Okay, so you have to publish a quality over the quantity. Pick up the right journal to publish. Again, you have to think twice, thrice before submitting your article and thinking about writing an article and submitting to that particular article. Because again, you have to say who is writing, who is reading, what is the scope, what are the guidelines. Okay, and again there is one more mantra: write now, edit later. Because you get so much bobbed up, or you can say you get bored so much that your brain cannot work only. Okay, so write today, take a gap of tomorrow, and day after tomorrow again read with a fresh mind. Okay, then you have to distribute equal responsibility to the co-authors. Okay, like please don't do that gift authorship. That is something, a malpractice that is happening in the journal industry. Okay, like I will write an article and I will write my friend's name as a second author. My friend writes her article, she writes her name as a first author, my name as a second author. So that should not happen. Okay, so suppose if you join publications, then equal responsibility has to be given. Okay, then strong title to capture. Why I'm saying you strong, because it will grab the attention. Okay, which is really important. And then you have to market your article. Why these in bottom I said LinkedIn, Pinterest, Facebook and Twitter, and also whenever my article is published, I always post it. Even manuscripts accepted, I post it on a LinkedIn and the people read, and they early only they can come to know that there is some article is going to get published. Okay, so the publicity you have to do. Okay, and that is what in your hand. Again, these are the examples that see my papers are getting rejected. These in red lines you can see. You have not made any real attempt to acknowledge. Okay, the scope of the paper or institutional repository is not really of interest to that particular journal. I can advise that your paper would not be successful in this, because which is highly competitive. So these are the rejections. See, this one of the article I got a review where the inadequate chosen method, paper lacks the discussion and the critical analysis, and compare studies are not done, and all and all. You know, this particular journal got really reviewed very well, and it was like the article was tagged as major revisions and reject. Okay, means major revisions are not been done, then it will get rejected. So major revisions to accepted. That particular journey was very interesting for me to do, and then now I get the art editors write that pleasure to accept. I will end up accepting your article. So that is the inspiration, right? That the first initially I was getting the replies from the editors saying that you have a lot of problems with your articles and all, but now there is no problem, because I do write and publish with such a dedication that people has to accept. Okay, again I would like to discuss just in a brief that rest of the points in a brief in just 5 minutes. That impact factor of the journal is something that it has to be calculated like this. Okay, like nature has got a more impact factor. So the whatever citations nature has received for consecutive previous years, like 15 and 16 years. Okay, whatever citations that are been received for the articles in 2017, for the articles that are published in 15 and 16, okay, is divided by number of articles that are published in the same year, that is 15 and 16. Okay, so there are 880 and plus 902 articles published in 2016 and 15 and 16, and for the same volume 2017 received these many citations. Okay, so it is calculated like this, and the 41 number has been added. Okay, so there are various ways the impact factor can be calculated. Journal citation reports, SciCite and Altmetric, these are all paid one, but Google Scholar Metrics is the free one. You can just find out with the help of going and visiting Google Scholar. How you can identify the journals? You can identify journal with the help of Google Scholars, journal finding tools which are provided by the journal publishers. Ulrich Periodicals Directory, it is one of the largest periodicals directory of the world. You can find out with the help of Scopus, Web of Science, database, and even, of course, human people like scholars in your field, your colleagues in the field. Okay. UGC case list, yes, now that is the one thing that we go, is we try to publish the articles if it is UGC listed or not, because for our promotion, it is not going to get accepted. Like if you go to the Google Scholar, on the left side, you'll find the metrics. When you click on metrics, you'll able to find this list, the top journals. Okay, so top publication you'll able to find. You have to click on view all. So when you click on view all, you will able to see this particular screen. Okay, means different journals in a various fields. So you can just click on the categories here, drop down. You'll able to find the major subjects categories. Okay, so these are 8 categories. So in this 8 categories, there is social sciences. When I clicked on social sciences, I found this. So in social sciences also there are categories like this. When I clicked on subcategories, I found all these different types. Like I think they are more or less 50 types or subcategories under social sciences. So when I clicked on subcategories, when I clicked on sociology here, I found the top 20 journals in the sociology. Okay, so H5 index of this particular American Sociological Review is a 65. So when I clicked on American Sociological Review, I found the top articles in the social that particular journal, that is American Sociological Review. Okay, these are the articles. So you can try on your own. Again, UGC care list. When you go to the UGC care list, you have to sign in, right? Login ID, password. You have to click on UGC care list, and there is a drop-down menu where you can find. There is an option called search. When you get a search, I think there are two groups they have done under this UGC care list. Group 1 and Group 2. Group 1 is the list that is compiled by UGC care, and Group 2 is all the journals which are listed under the Web of Science and Scopus. Okay. So this Group 1, very simple. You can go to the subject and click on subject, and you can write the subject, and then you can find out this particular window screen. There are 65 journals of law. These are all Indian journals, which are Indian journals, or you can say the journals which are mostly not available online or which are not included in Web of Science, but still they are really good, worth. Okay, so like Banaras Law Journal, Banaras Hindu University. So this might not be there in the Web of Science. So it is listed here in Group 1. So Group 2, you have to click here, and when you click on that Group 2, you will have this particular screen. Okay, so you directly go to the Web of Science, and then you can use the filters which are there on the left side, and you can find out the journals. Okay, so when I clicked on the law, there are almost 465 journals on law in the Web of Science. So you can choose. Okay. As I said, there are journal publishers also have a finders. Like this is a Elsevier's journal finder. This looks like this. If you go to the just type Elsevier journal finder or find journal finding tool of Elsevier in Google, you'll find this particular URL. Again, I have given your URL at the bottom, and then you can just write the title and the abstract. Okay, and submit. So you'll get a best journal. That Elsevier Science will recommend a journal for you. So for the practice, just for to show you, I had written the title and the abstract, and then Elsevier had recommended 22 journals for me, and these are the 2 journals been recommended. Okay, so these are the mostly matching with my manuscripts. Okay. So you can again go to the library and information science, whatever has been recommended to you, and read the details. So when I clicked on this Journal of Academic Librarianship where my articles are published, so you can understand how much time they take, but it's not correct. 8 weeks. 8 weeks time of publication. No, it doesn't take 8 weeks. It takes more than that. Okay. Then citation, impact factor, and all of that particular journal, everything you will find it here. Okay. Again, I told you in the beginning that please don't go for a questionable or predatory publishers because they are not good. They are like kala dhabba for the profession, or they're the one only for the money making business, because they know that people wants to write their articles in the journals, so they want to find some ways to publish their articles. As I told you, I will just tell you from my mobile that yes, so one of the editor of Indian Alliance Journal is my friend. He told me that the moment their journal got UGC listed, how many papers they received? 2025 articles they received. The moment the journal is came under the category of UGC tier list. So you can imagine, thinking about these international journals, how much they must be getting, right? There is one website that I would like you to go through, that think, check and submit before you write any article. This particular website is really, really good. And whatever guidelines I have given you, the guidelines are mentioned here, right? So you can go through this, think, check and submit. So before you think or means considering any journal, those points, okay? Then for checking what you have to see, and then while submitting what points you have to think, okay? So this is something very important. So this is my present Google Scholar, and this was my maybe 2005-6 profile. I had this. Okay, so my 56 to 314, it really shooted because of visibility as well as writing in a good journals and writing a contemporary articles. Okay, so my sincere thanks to the not the SM Shetty College, but the Nagindas Khanwala College for giving me the opportunity to share my experiences with all the audience. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. I request participants to post their questions, if any, in the chat box.
Yes.
Ma'am, there is one question from a participant, Mahesh sir. His question is, which are a few recommended journals for management scholars to attempt publications?
Since I am not from that management field, you have to go to the UGC Care as well as Journal Finder tool. You have to go and check. Okay, then and then it is possible.
Any more questions from the participants? You all can post it in the chat box. Ma'am, I think there are no more questions now. So we'll move to the last part, that is the vote of thanks. And I would request my co-convener, Sonali Singh ma'am, to propose a vote of thanks.
Thank you, ma'am. It was such I would say super informative, insightful, and intensive, and I can say engaging session. Like as you started, journal writing gives us a view who we are, who we were, and who we can become. So you really took us through a journey that who we are and who we can become as a research scholar. And you took us through what is the motive of publishing an article in the journal, through the qualities of a good manuscript, then the checklist, and then the revise, rewrite thing, and the process of choosing the right journal, handling the rejections, the whole publication cycle, the structure of journal, whether it was different types of scholarly articles and the journal articles, and what are the tips of how we should get our first journal published. It was really, ma'am, it was so insightful. We are today, I think so, we would have published one article or two articles. I think so now we can become a research scholar even we will have a citation which is as much as yours in numbers maybe in future, due to the knowledge we gain through the session and impact factor journal finding tools. And we would surely, ma'am, we will think, check and submit our article and publish many more articles to come. Thank you for the wonderful session, ma'am. Now proceed to our valedictory function, I would request Ms. Assistant Professor Ms. Vishaka Bagwe to start with our college anthem.
Thank you, Sarita ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I would have been more happier if one of the 116 participants would have asked me one single question at least. So I provoke all the participants to think, not now, but I have given my email ID to all of you. If you have any question in future, please do write me, send me an email. I always reply to my emails, even though it is from any unknown person. So my request to you, if you have any questions right now, ask. Otherwise, you please write to me.
Maybe they will go through and think, I think so via email also they will be sending you a query, maybe because they will assimilate all the knowledge which we have got, and then they might come up with a doubt and they will surely email you, ma'am, because it was a super knowledgeable session. So thank you, ma'am.
May I leave now?
Yeah, the valedictory.
May I leave now?
Ma'am, like the valedictory function is there. If you would stay also, ma'am, for 5-10 minutes, we'll be happy.
Fine.
So we are starting with our valedictory function. It will start with our college anthem, which will be played by Ms. Vishaka.
जगा सकूं, दे मुझे स्वर जो भी शिक्षित हो यहाँ वह नेक एक इंसान हो। भेदभाव ना उपजे मन में सबको मैं अपना सकूं। मैं बनूं इंसान अच्छा जग में कीर्ति कमा सकूं। भारत भविष्य बना सकूं। भारत भविष्य बना सकूं।
Welcome one and all to the welcome to the valedictory function. I would like to invite and welcome in charge principal Professor Dr. Maushmi Datta to give us the welcome and valedictory address.
Good morning to all, and thank you, Sonali. I have to congratulate the participants as well as the IQSC for arranging such an enterprising capacity building program on research methodology. Now we have got several sessions on research, right from understanding to research till the publication. So it has been planned very meticulously and all the aspects of research has been covered. Research is about creating new knowledge, and it is a continuous process. And in the present scenario, training for research has become a need. And hence, here lies the importance of such capacity building programs. I am sure all the participants present has gained immense knowledge and have got an idea about what research is. Every time we have been talking about research, but one fact is that the gist of research should be there with you. Don't think of the benefit. Don't think of how many publications I will have at the end of the day. Just keep on trying, try to find out new information, and the zeal of research should always be there. So before I end, a big congratulations to IQSC and the team members of IQSC. We have Sonali Vatkar, we have Sonali Singh, we have Vishakha, who has been continuously, running all around for making this program a success, and ultimately it is a success. So a big congratulations to IQSC and all the participants and all the support system. Thank you very much for joining this session. We will be organizing many such programs in future. So I provide an invitation to all of you, those who are outside the Nagindas Khanwala College. So please do join us in all our programs, because all of our programs are very well managed and very, very informative. So thank you very much.
Thank you, madam. Now I would like to invite Dr. in charge Vice Principal and IQSC Coordinator, Dr. Mona Mehta ma'am, to propose vote of thanks.
Thank you, Sonali. 12 days of a workshop with ICSSR and Nagindas Khanwala College, and there's been so much learning in research. We have covered practically all dimensions of research. For a newcomer, it would give you insights as to what you can do with research. And for faculties which have done research, it would be a revision. Practically everything that was possible has been covered in research. And I must say the workshop has been not only informative, very practical, and has given a very hands-on approach. A workshop of this nature of 12 days doesn't happen with the help and blessings and wishes of a lot of people. So I'm here to thank all the people who have made this possible. I'd like to start with the management of our college, which always encourages us to learn and relearn things again and again, and always gives us this boost and initiative to do workshops like this. So I'd like to thank all the members of the management committee. Our director, ma'am, Dr. Mrs. Ansi Jose, has always said that if you don't learn, you will not grow and you will not progress. I'd like to thank ma'am for all the encouragement that she has given us. Our principal, Professor Dr. Maushmi Datta, is a fantastic researcher herself, and she has really been instrumental in collating all the resource persons and putting them together over here today. So we thank you, ma'am, for getting the right person to deliver us content in research and making us more knowledgeable. All the resource people from day one till today who have taken out time and explained things to us meticulously. I'd like to thank all the resource persons who have been a part of the workshop. The IQAC member. IQAC is an invisible force which works even when nobody else is seeing or watching, they still keep on working. I'd like to thank all the IQAC members for being a part of this journey and making it exceptional. In particular, I'd like to thank Sonali Singh, Sonali Vadkar, Vishaka Bhagwe for being that face of the workshop. Every day, 9:30 promptly, they would log in. They would make sure all the participants are in. They would make sure all the questions are answered and regularly posting videos on the group. So thank you for all the effort that you've taken. Tomorrow, when you go home and sleep, you will be missing, getting up, getting online on Zoom at 10, and we'll miss seeing you. So thank you for all the effort that you've taken. I'd also like to thank Ashish Modi for being, instrumental in helping us design wherever we needed any designing to be done, and always being there to chip in whenever help was needed. Of course, a workshop without participants is incomplete. All faculty members, thank you for having this gist to learn. Faculties from Nagindas Khanwala College, as well as faculties who joined us from all across India and of course from Mumbai. Thank you so much for being such sincere students and showing up every day. Our PG students also took a lot of initiative and were a part of this workshop. Thank you to all the PG students who have attended the workshop. You know, this is just the beginning of your research journey. Yes, you have learned, you have gone through various formats. Now, I think it's the time that you can start or restart your research journey. So I wish you all the best for your research journey ahead, and I'm sure we'll meet soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you, madam. And thank you, participants. Kindly rise for the national anthem.
Ma'am, and thank you, Mona ma'am, also for giving us this opportunity and designing the whole program. Ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, for it.
जन गण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Thank you, participant. Thank you for joining us for the workshop. The feedback link is posted in the chat box. Kindly fill the feedback form. It is mandatory for the certificate. With this, I announce that we have ended the capacity building program in research methodology.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you very much.
Okay, Sonali, then I will leave now.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.